My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, and that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins, for the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. We read from today's Gospel, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6. The apostles returned to Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a lonely place and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. And they went away in the boat to a lonely place by themselves. Jesus, we thank you for this passage today. We realize that it's a very beautiful thing to see the apostles' desire to talk to you, to communicate with you, to return to you after having been sent out, to tell you what's going on, to tell you how things have gone. The apostles returned to Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. And Jesus, this is our mental prayer. We come to you to share our lives with you. We come to you with our concerns, with our worries, with our projects, our plans, our desires, our successes, our failures, and we share it with you. We have this desire to let you in on our life. You know everything already, but you want to hear it from us. And we want someone to tell it to. And we tell it to our friends, we tell it to our spouses, if we're married, we tell it to a spiritual director, or to some close family member. And yet, Jesus, we know that we have to tell it directly to you as well. We have to tell you what's going on. We have this need in our soul to share with you our own life. And Jesus, we see it's very beautiful that the apostles desire to tell you things, to share their life with you, to catch up with you, is met by your own desire to be alone with them. Their desire to talk to you, to be with you, is matched by your desire to be with them and to be alone with them. He said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a lonely place and rest a while." Jesus, you want my prayer. You want my attention in my prayer. You want to hear from me what I want to tell you. You want to hear what's on my mind. You're interested in me and in my life. And you say, Jesus, to each one of us, in our prayer and in our life, keep praying. Keep finding time for prayer. Don't forget me. Make this time. You say to each one of us, come away by yourselves to a lonely place and rest a while. And they make it happen. And they went away in the boat to a lonely place by themselves. Jesus, help us to make this happen. To go away to a lonely place by ourselves, to be alone with you. And sometimes we have to just do what we can to find 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, for a time of mental prayer, for a time of quiet. We have to do what we can. And at times, we have to plan a little bit better to make a little bit bigger sacrifice, or a rearrangement of our priorities, or our use of time in order to make it happen, a little bit better, a little bit longer. What would it take, Jesus, to find 20 minutes a day, or 20 minutes twice a day, or half hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening, or wherever I think the next step is in my mental prayer, in my interior life? What would it take, Jesus, for that to happen? Would I have to get up earlier? Would I have to go to bed earlier? Would I have to work a little bit more efficiently during the day so I could stop work and have time for that talk with you, that chat with you, my mental prayer? before I go home or on my way home or before I start preparing dinner? What would it take, Jesus, to come away by myself to a lonely place and rest a while with you? Deep down in my soul, I have this desire to be with you. I have this need to be with you, to tell you things. And you also, Jesus, want that from me. And you want to tell me things and listen to me and be with me. And yet you leave me free, Jesus. You leave me free to make it happen. I want it, but do I really want it? Do I want to make it happen? I want it, Lord, but am I willing to look at my day and take the necessary steps to commit more fully to prayer, to commit more fully to finding that time with you, that time alone with you? Jesus, give me the motivation, give me the willpower necessary to make that kind of change. And I think sometimes we wait around for a kind of emotional motivation to do something. And we say, well, how come I don't pray more? Well, I just wasn't motivated. I don't feel motivated. And I think we're very sentimental beings. We're kind of overly dependent on our emotions. And it's important to realize that emotion or feelings is not the only kind of motivation that there is. To be motivated is not necessarily to feel motivated. To be motivated is simply to have enough reasons for doing something that I choose to do it, that I make it happen. And sometimes the feelings can come from the decision or reflecting on the reasons and making the decision, making the commitment. And then our feelings kind of like rise to the task. They get on board with the course that we've set. And that's an important thing to realize about our soul, is that we have an intellect that's capable of seeing the truth. It's not an emotional faculty. And we have a will that's capable of choosing the good, choosing the true good that the mind, the intellect puts before it. And who are we? Well, we're kind of like this combination of the intellect that sees the good, the will that chooses the good, and the emotions that can help us choose the good and help us be fully on board with the truth. We're kind of like this concentration of those three elements, right? Mind, will, and heart, or mind, will, and emotions. And if we just think that, well, I have to be motivated by feelings, well, we're only using a third of our soul, right, to be good, to act. And at times we have to say, well, I can shift the emphasis to what's true, whether I feel like it or not. And I can shift the emphasis to what's truly good, what I want to do, whether I feel like it or not. And let my emotions kind of catch up or stir my emotions to get on board. So Jesus, help us to commit with our mind, with our will, to more prayer. Do I want it? Yes. But do I really want it? Well, it depends. Am I willing to make resolutions? Am I willing to change my schedule? Am I willing to make those small sacrifices it takes to find that time to be alone with you? We go to Our Lady, Mystical Rose. She knew how to find time for God. She knew how to be alone with Jesus. She knew how to work with him and to rest with him and to plan with him and to plan for him. Our Lady, Mystical Rose, help us to be committed to prayer so that we can unburden ourselves in our Lord, like the apostles did, telling him what happened, telling him what's going on, and so that we can please our Lord, who wants our prayer more than we do. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations which you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.